Good evening, so I'm here with my associate. I'm not your bloody associate, you bloody piss wallop! Put me down, my hat's gonna fall off. Yes. Yes. So, top tips again. Yay! I'm gonna try and do one every week. The camera's there, isn't it? I keep looking at the wrong place. I'm gonna try and do one weekly. And this one is one I should have probably started off with. I didn't think about putting them in a order or what order they'd be, but this makes more sense to do it this way. So like last week I made one because I needed to use the models. My brother was well, I can never be accused of being professional because he wanted obviously to take them back home again. So I've got my cup of tea and I've got a big piece of paper. So let's start. So we're going to start in a more logical place than axle configurations. As you will know if you watch me for very long or not, top tips. Were just little tips that I dropped in amongst the trip videos. Things that people might not know or want to know and stuff. And I've made particular efforts with different things. And they seem to go down quite well, which is really good. Because I really enjoy doing them. I never thought I'd be sort of like a teacher, really, isn't it? You just call me sir. Don't call me sir. So, yeah, I bother because I just like helping people, really. Like, I like that people will find them useful. So when I started, I've always been in this industry, basically, because my dad was, and obviously I followed it on, and the whole family. So it's always been in my life from the very beginning. So just for that fact, like it's not boastful. I'm not being boastful or anything. Like, oh, I know more than you from when I was 15 years old. Like, it's bollocks. I only knew what I did because my dad did it, and I was around the industry my whole life. So that's the reason for the top tips idea. Was lots of people nowadays, more nowadays than has been in the past, are coming into the industry afresh, like as the first person in their family to do it. When I started out with Nolan's, I was pretty much ringing Dad every day for advice about stuff. But the thing is, if you're new to the industry and if like none of your family have been in it before, you won't have that. So that's what I aim to be. I'm going to put an email address at the end of this as well. I'm going to start using for people who, if they want to email advice. And also, comments are brilliant. I love reading comments on Facebook. Try and avoid Facebook Messenger because I always forget about it. But tweet me, Instagram. I'm always happy to answer questions. And I read all the comments. Sometimes I forget to answer. So like I'll read comments and then I think I'll come back and answer them later. And then before you know it, it's gone. So I appreciate all of them, absolutely. It's not me being arrogant or full of myself when I don't reply sometimes. It's just me being a forgetful idiot. And if it's something you really want to know, don't be afraid to comment or message again, or on a different format. So, why do I think I'm in a position to teach these top tips? I don't know any more or less necessarily than most drivers my age. I'm a middle-aged man now. Been in this industry. I've been a driver for this year for 25 years. 25 years. And you just know a lot in that time. Like, I'm not claiming to be the font of all transport knowledge. There's loads of things I don't know about, and I'm going to try and... I've had a couple email me about STGO and stuff, Special Types Goods Order, heavy haulage. Who's going to help me with some of those videos, because there's lots of stuff I don't know. Lots of bits of this industry I don't know. What makes me... lost my... Oh yeah, so the only thing that makes me know quite a lot about a wide variety is I did 3 years in agency in London, and in that time I drove like walking floors, ejector trailers, tippers, supermarket trucks, fridges, curtain siders, sliding roofs, like all sorts. It's sort of very rare and very little I haven't done. I don't have to keep... I don't for a second mean that in a big-headed way. Some of it, like, I've done, like, I don't know, I think I did 4 days on an 8-wheel tipper, stuff like that. So, like, I'm not being boastful and say, I don't think there's anything I haven't done. Like, I've been having this debate on TruckNet with Carry Fast, as some of you may know. who always wanted to do European work and stuff, and he just didn't, basically, and he blames everybody else for it. And my point was, I was trying to point out, because he thinks there's some sort of elite, that I'm a member of some sort of elite transport industry clique. My face fits wherever I go, which is absolute bollocks. Yeah, hang on, I was thinking of my friend. You see, this is what happened to me now, my train of thought. So, like, if you, it's all possible, all in your hands. You can just do it. Like, his argument was, he kept saying that I'm making out, I think I'm something special, but that was the whole point. I am not something special. I am just a fairly average. I've had a lot of jobs and I've done a lot of work, but then loads of drivers have been like I have. He had like 3 jobs in 15 years, and that's more unusual, I think, in driving these days. My career, and that was my whole point, was my career path is nothing remarkable. I've not done anything amazing. I've done amazing work that I've loved it, brilliant. I've fulfilled my dreams, but it was nothing that's hard to attain, and I don't think I'm special. But, and here's another point I was going to make. My 25 years driving for like over trucks for, not employed by, but trucks for over 30 different companies doesn't make me, my 25 years doing that and coaches is no more or less valid than if you spent 25 years at one company doing one job. Like, both, that's the thing you need to avoid, is all this career top trumps. Like, they're all valid. If you've been driving for 25 years, it's no different. Like, it doesn't make one person's experience more important than another person's experience. We're all just experienced in different ways. So, oh yeah, that was an experience top trumps. So anyway, we'll move on to the purpose of this video. There's the big piece of paper gone. And that was a waste of paper, wasn't it? And we'll move on to the purpose of this video. So the purpose of this video is, should you do it? Should you become a lorry driver? Yes, is the answer to that. You see a lot on TruckNet, on Facebook pages, from young drivers, or even don't have to be young. Like, you can start. I've known drivers start their career in the 50s and stuff. You're never too old. Come online and ask, should they do it? And the amount of negativity they get from people is just fucking infuriating. Again, going back to the ways, is what you make it. If you want this job to be a good job, it can be the best job in the world. Like, you just need to approach everything in life with the same way. Instead of too many people, they approach life and everything in life with, what can I hate about this? I have always approached everything, what's good about this? And enjoyed it. So going through my list. C or C&E, or as many seem to still call it, Class 1 or Class 2. Class 1 and Class 2 have been around for donkey's years. Try and get away from them, but it's still the most commonly used. Class 1, Arctic or trailer, drawbar, and C is Class 2, which is rigid. Depends what you want. Like, there is no set path. Some people think they should do a rigid first and get a rigid job and gain some experience. If you really want to drive Arctics or drawbars and you can afford to do the whole thing, just do it. It is going to be hard to find a job with no experience, but you're as likely to find a job on an Arctic as you are on a rigid. Like, there's no... In fact, you're more likely, because there generally is more Arctics around. So yeah, so if you want to do C&E, go for it. But if you don't want, again, like say with experience, if you only want to do rigids, if you want to drive rigids, stick with that. Just do whatever makes you happy. So the next point, is it your dream? Like, some people, as I did, dreamed about this forever. So what I always want to do, I always say I'm lucky, because I didn't want to be a professional footballer or like some millionaire. I just wanted to be a lorry driver. So it was fairly easy dreams to attain. But the one thing I will say, and going back to the TruckNet conversation as well, is I've always been scared of the idea that I might get to become an old man and wish I'd done stuff. it's why like my life has been rammed full of stuff, and sometimes it's been exhausting, and like it's not always been amazing. Um, but as I thought over the last year with my system accident, if I had died last year, as many people would have done in that situation, and I look back and I thought, you know what, I can be pretty content with the way it all went because I've had a great time. And what's even more exciting now, because I was going to try and thinking of walking away from transport industry and driving. I was seriously considering in planning to have a snack van because I'd love to be a cook or something. But then I came to the realization that, don't be an idiot, Luke. That's a stupid thing to do. Because I've managed to build up like such a name for myself via this and everything, with such a career. Walking away from it at my age and starting at the very bottom somewhere probably isn't a good idea. So you're stuck with me, quite frankly. So yeah, it is what you make it. If you want it to be a good job, it can be a good job. If you want to work 20 years for the same place doing the same work and you'll be happy, go for it. Absolutely. All you need to do. The only thing I would ever say to anybody: work out what makes you happy, do it, enjoy it. That's all I said to this Carry Fast chap on TruckNet. He did what he wanted to do at the time, basically. Like, there's no point bitching and moaning about it afterwards. I mean, and so yeah, so he thinks I'm in part of this transport elite where my face fits. So I would walk into jobs. He kept going on about me being a bus driver, driving a 750. But in some places, it is about face fits. But there's no reason. Just make your face fit, basically. The only reason my face has fitted in so many places is because I always approach jobs in the same way to help. Like, too many drivers think their employer is trying to shaft them at every turn, and undoubtedly that's going to be true of some companies somewhere. I was thinking, yeah, it's going to be, but most companies, if you work with them, just work with them, basically. You go there, you want to help. You're there to make money, do it. Like, too many drivers bitch and moan about every bit of work they're given. And you will get given shit work sometimes. Everybody is. I mean, like, you get people going about and thinking I'm in some sort of TruckNet elite. I've been in, like, a Tesco trailer at 1 a.m. picking up fucking fruit on a pallet that's fallen over. I've been up to my knees in mud, in tips, in tipping rubbish out of an ejector trailer and stuff like that. Like, yeah, just, yeah. So yeah, you can make it fit. All they want is just somebody who's reliable. That's the biggest thing in this industry: reliable. Fucking be reliable. There's so many drivers. Talk to anybody who runs a transport company, and you would frankly be amazed at how many people say they're going to do something and then just don't turn up. Which is the absolute ultimate. Like, I've said yes to work and wished I really hadn't said yes because I wanted to be doing something else. But I always do it because I said yes. So you need to make yourself known for that. Make yourself for being reliable. And it will mean you have to do some shit work that you don't really want to do sometimes. But it will also mean when companies get to know you as a reliable, hard-working driver, that more often than not, you'll be getting the good work, not the bad work. Because they know exactly the sorts of people all the different drivers are. And that's the other thing. Don't abuse offices. They're employees just the same as you. Learn to ignore bullshit. There we are. That's the this industry is plagued with bullshitters. You'll hear so many talk about bollocks. I get all these you get the odd hard man pop up slagging me off. He sends you messages all day. I see it in Facebook pages sometimes that I'm not even involved in, and they'll be bitching about me, and it's like, none of you have ever said this to my face. And I've been on ferries before now, and I have known people who have a big problem with me online, and they'll be on a ferry with me, and they won't say a word. So that is the very definition of the whole big bollocks, like keyboard warrior nonsense. If I know, like, I'm not necessarily everybody's cup of tea. I can understand how I might find me annoying. But I put my face to my opinions, and you know my name. And if you're not prepared to do that, don't voice your opinions, basically. It's my view. So yeah, all these big people talking bollocks. And you hear them going on about how they'll refuse to do this, or I told the office this, and it's like, you didn't. Like, I know that shit. So yeah, that's moving on to the next thing. Having someone on phone, and that was, like I say, with my dad when I first passed. I phoned him all the time asking him for advice. And basically, like, I posted a bit like where I wrote down all my jobs and stuff and experience. So that's what makes me qualified for these top tips videos. Is I've done quite a lot of varied work. I'm not coming out with anything radical. I'm not super intelligent or anything. Oh, and that's the other thing. Like, and finally, like I said before, know what you want, know what makes you happy, and do it. There's nothing to stop you. Yes, to start with, you'll find getting a job for the first time fairly difficult. It took me 3 years. I was driving coaches around Europe, but no one would give me a job driving trucks. The worst one was Murphy's. Remember them? Where they draw bars going to Italy. They were advertising for drivers once, and I applied for one. And they said, "Oh, come for an interview." And I thought, yes, I'm finally got something here. And I drove over 5 hours across the UK to get there. And I walked in the office for my interview after waiting for half an hour. And some sort of transport manager, I think, sat me down and said, "Well, you see, the problem is you don't have any experience, so we're not going to be able to employ you." And I was like, I nearly could have exploded and like demolished that building. Maybe drive 5 hours, tell me that. So I stormed out, and then I stormed back in again. "Give me my CV." "Oh, no, but we might want to have other opportunities for you." It's like, I'm not fucking at this fucking company, and stormed out. So that was my one of my first attempts at and yeah, just stick with it. When you get your license and when you start, it'll be hard. You'll want to give up, and maybe you will give up, but you'll get there in the end. One day you'll just phone up at the right time when somebody needs a driver, and that'll be it. That's all it'll take. And since the driver CPC, it seems more companies are a bit more willing to give new drivers a chance as well. So yeah. So is that it? If you want to do it, there is nothing stopping you. It's a fantastic job. If you want it to be a fantastic job, it will be a fantastic job. European work is brilliant, but then UK work is brilliant. Truck driving is just brilliant. Like being able to get in the truck in the morning, like I did that 9 months at Virginia in the office, and that was in an office that was my own, and I was on my own, and it was still a fucking nightmare. Not for any like reason, the job or anything, but it's just like, that's not for me, the office. Sorry. So yeah, getting up, going to work, sitting in a lorry, starting engine. Trust me, that's a great day. So I think I've covered everything. Let's have a quick look at these ripped up pieces of paper. Oh yeah, so if you want to ask me any questions, if you have any specific questions, I don't know much about other companies. Like, I know about the companies I work for. So, like, your best bet with asking about what companies are like would be going onto forums or TruckNet or something like that, or on the Facebook pages. And I'm reluctant to talk about companies if I've not worked for them, because like I just don't know. You will hear so much shit. That's another thing to think as when you're starting out. Take everything with a pinch of salt. You will hear so much shit said about companies. Like, every company I've ever worked for, it's been the same. And it's just not true half the time. It's just people aren't happy unless... Some lorry drivers aren't happy unless they're fucking moaning. And you hear them on a ferry. Moan. You know? Like, yeah, like, live every day like it's your last. It's a ridiculous thing to say because it's impossible. Like, if it was my last day on earth, I wouldn't be delivering, I don't know, beef to a London butcher shop or milk to Acton. But just, that's my way of looking at it differently, is just know, always have an eye on the fact there will be an end to this. So live your life accordingly is basically my saying. Not quite as catchy as live every day like it's your last. There will be an end to this, so live your life accordingly. Makes me sound like some sort of librarian. So yeah, stick with it. That's my advice for this Top Tips video. Good day. You want to say goodbye, Bertie? No, I don't. They're a bunch of pisswallops. Get off my mouth. I'm no.